In today's video, I explored what wildlife can be found on our coasts, as well as some rock pooling, so let's get right into it. Right, so I am at to try and find turtle doves. Okay, just a quick disclaimer, I didn't find any turtle doves in this video. I mean, originally this video was supposed to be a trying to find turtle doves video, but hey, that's just bird watching. Sometimes it goes like that. Ooh. But that does not mean at all that we didn't see much wildlife at all. Even though the mission was unsuccessful, doesn't mean we didn't have a good time. So, there was some cool wildlife, such as this ruddy darter. First time I've seen one, actually. And yes, you could argue that I did see one in Suffolk for a little glimpse, but then again, that was just for a little glimpse. This time I actually saw it properly in all of its glorious beauty, and I can definitely confirm it's a ruddy darter. You ruddy darter. As I walked up these giant, glorious steps, I noticed something wiggling on the ground. That was a moth pupae. Now, at first, I didn't know what this was, but now I know that this is actually the pupae of a gypsy moth. An actually quite rare moth, believe it or not. However, they have been increasing in London and are quite restricted to certain areas. And gypsy moths aren't even that big, so I'm really confused why it's so huge for no reason. Then I managed to capture a linnet on camera, and this is actually the first time I've gotten proper footage of one. Because if you don't know, back in March this year, I actually heard and saw some linnets, and that was pretty hard to capture, and all of them flying were really not good footage. Now, I've got proper footage of them feeding off of the ground, so now I can absolutely tick them off the list. One of my biggest dreams is to move away from London immediately. Because I absolutely hate London. It is probably the worst place on earth. I would literally rather go to anywhere else. I'd even rather to live in Birmingham. As I was walking into this hide, I noticed that there were so many black-tailed godwits. They are easily probably the most common bird that I've seen throughout this whole trip, and I can probably imagine their population is doing quite well. There were also lots of lapwings and black-headed gulls. I also managed to get some pretty good footage of the birds in the hide, mainly the black-tailed godwits, and quite a few lapwings. As I was walking through this beautiful landscape where the coastal estuary met the land, I noticed something scuttling near the grass. Come on, Lizzie, just there. Or viviparous, I should say. Right. Nothing. Loads of ants. Let's see. Margaret Hyde, let's go. After completely missing to film a common lizard, also known as the viviparous lizard, I went to Margaret Hyde to see what birds were there, and this time there were an absolutely ridiculous amount of black-tailed godwits. But here's something that I haven't actually explained before. You may have seen it throughout my recent videos, but basically I have these weird black dots or whatever, in some of the footage you're about to see of the close-ups. Now, the reason for this is actually quite sad because it actually dropped into a river, the lens, and basically now it's got these permanent black marks, and I have dried it, and that hasn't obviously worked. And then what made it worse is that when I was in Dorset, it fell in the sand near the sand dunes, and yeah, I think I might have to get a new one. Anyways, I managed to find a bird that I have never been able to film before, and that is an avocet. This is the first time I've ever filmed one, but it isn't the first time I've ever seen one, because I have seen them before, loads of times actually, but I'm just really happy that I managed to get some good footage of it, so here you go. Okay, I've seen loads of house sparrows and swallows. We'll go down to the beach later on, but for now, I just want to see what stuff there is. I managed to arrive at this rock pooling site where I knew I would have a good chance of finding some good stuff. However, I did see some pretty cool wildlife as I was going down to the coast, including a quite scarce visitor to the UK during August. That is the gypsy moth. I actually managed to get one in my moth trap during my first ever moth trap video. You can watch it on my channel if you want to. But anyways, this is pretty cool because I did not know they flew in the day, and this one was going absolutely crazy. Along the coast, I noticed that there were quite a few sand dunes, and obviously because sand dunes are great for many insect species, I decided to check out what was living there. And there were loads of bees going into their beehives, including a special species of wasp, which is my favourite species of wasp we have in the UK, and it is the bee wolf. And the reason why they're named that is because they actively hunt bees. That's right. Instead of hunting caterpillars like most wasps do, they actually hunt honeybees quite actively and quite commonly. Males and females are pretty difficult to tell apart, but there is one single difference that makes it quite easy to tell apart, and that thing is their eyes. The females have much more brown, darker eyes, while the males have this bluish-grey eyes, where you can very clearly see the pupils inside. I also managed to get some stunning footage of it, which I'm really, really proud of, and managed to get a photo of it, which I'm also really proud of. This is so cool to see. I can't believe I managed to get a photo and a video of my favourite species of wasp, and I'm really happy for it. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some crispy footage. after the Beowulf encounter, I spotted an insect which is really common in the Czech Republic and most of Europe, but is very rare in the UK, and that is the firebug. And I was actually very happy to see one. I'm not really that excited about seeing one, considering they are just so common in the Czech Republic and I'm used to seeing them, but I'm really happy of finding one here in the UK, because they're actually quite rare. So definitely a good thing to see. Then I finally went down to the rock pools to see what I could find, and let's just say I found some pretty good stuff, including this shrimp. Now, I can't tell if it's a shrimp or a prawn, but you'll have to see later. I also found this periwinkle, I believe. Not really good on rock pool creatures, but I could be wrong. But yeah, it's probably going to be on screen right now if I'm wrong. Then I managed to catch this huge crab. I believe that this is a shore crab, considering that they are quite a common species across UK shores, hence the name. And also, I actually was a bit scared of it because of how huge it was. They're also known as the European green crab. But yeah, I did release it afterwards, as well as all of the creatures in this video. Oh. Then suddenly I saw something which I originally thought was just a black-headed gull, but was something much rarer, and that was a Mediterranean gull. These are actually quite a scarce visitor to the UK during summer, and I was so ridiculously happy to find one. The only problem is that I didn't have my lens. So, because I didn't have my lens, it means I couldn't get some close-up shots because I left it in my bag. And probably, if I was gonna walk there back, I probably wouldn't have any time left because it would have flown away. So I got my best chances and tried to get as close as possible. If you don't know, the way you tell the difference between a black-headed gull and a Mediterranean gull is the fact that, believe it or not, but Mediterranean gulls actually have proper black heads. Black-headed gulls have more brown heads. Another way to tell the difference is that they don't have a black stripe on the wing like black-headed gulls do, and the fact that their bill is ringed, like they've got a black ring around their bill. Anyways, here I got some stunning footage of these alien-looking prawns, or shrimps I believe, and they look really cool. I also got a photo of them, which makes them look even more alien, like some sci-fi movie. going to give you guys a challenge. I'm going to give you guys a challenge. Can you spot the fish right in this moment where I'm recording? Can you do it? Let me know. I'll tell you the answer very shortly. Okay, yeah, you probably knew where it was right now. It's right here. Not sure what it is, but it's very, very fast. Oh. Here we go. Crab time. What species? Got. So I believe this maybe might be a different species, but then again, you never know. I'm not really good with the rock pool creatures. Yeah, a huge crab here. He's obviously in his defense pose. But yeah, very cool. It's kind of frozen in this pose, actually. I also managed to find this female shore crab, and by the way, crabs mate in a weird way. They kind of have these weird flaps which make it look like they have tails. Anyways, that was the end of this video. Personally, I think the star of the show for me was the Mediterranean Gull. I absolutely enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.